Welcome to In Depth With. I'm Richard Price of Academia or EDU, and I'm to have you here for another deep dive, cutting-edge academic research and the questions our world. We're delving into a topic that's buzzing in engineering circles and ordinary life, the integration of robots into society. Will be the Architecture of Autonomy, Analysis of Robotic Integration and Societal Evolution, a paper by P. Bellisan. As always, my role is to present the papers and findings neutrally. I'm not endorsing conclusions here, just highlighting what's in the research and why it might matter for you. So, what's the heart of this work? The central question, one that's been gathering steam for, is how are robots moving beyond tools to become integrated, even participants in our daily lives? And does this change the fabric of itself? Why does this, you may asking? Well, every time you hear about self-driving cars, robot caregivers, or even just those little robot vacuums zipping under your sofa aren't isolated. They're part of a huge, complex shift. This paper tackles both the advances robots function among us and the equally tricky social, ethical, and economic implications. Big stuff, right? All right, let's start with the technical journey. Bellisan details how, since the 1950s, robots evolved through 5 generations. From dumb, dangerous car assembly lines, the adaptive, language-aware machines of today, the recent leap aiding large language models like RT1 and PyLME directly into robot brains. Yup, same of AI that powers chatbots, and virtual is now helping robots understand, act on human instructions in the real world. Think about telling your home robot, "Hey, grab that red mug on the counter," and having it actually figure out where the mug and which arm to use. Kind of wild. But for robots to act naturally, Bellisan points out, they had to solve the symbol grounding problem, basically connecting words like M to the right physical thing. In the early robots didn't have this, they just actions blindly. Now, new models like Seikan and the RT1 Robotics Transformer blend language, vision and action, allowing robots to break down abstract human requests into doable steps. The Seikan approach is especially cool. It combines the robot thinks it should do with what it's actually capable of at moment. That means fewer mistakes, more adaptability, and a future where robots really get what you mean. Okay, and how do these robots keep track of where they are or the environment is doing? The paper digs into huge upgrades in mapping and localization. For example, ORB-SLAM 3, which is a fancy mapping algorithm. Let's remember, many maps merge them, and even recall previous, they've been kind of like a robot hippocampus. This is what lets drones, warehouse, and home assistants navigate tricky indoor or adapt on the fly. The shift to ROS2, a more robot operating system, is another milestone, enables real-time data sharing with security and reliability, which, let's be honest, critical if you're sharing space with a machine that weighs as much as a person. But let's not forget the basic sensors and energy. Fancy AI isn't much use if your robot flops over after 10 because ran out of batteries. So Bellisan talks about smarter energy management, clever touch sensors like gel sight, and dynamic power tricks that let robots balance smarts and stamina. Ever notice how your phone slows down to save power? Robots do something similar. Now you're probably wondering, what does all this mean for everyday people? Might it show in your own life if it isn't already? Well, one big impact is on jobs. Automation can replace routine jobs, especially manufacturing, but Bellisan's paper notes that it can increase overall productivity, even creating new service industry roles. The effect isn't uniform, depends on sector, region, even culture. Some places see robots as helpful partners, others not so much, and then there's the Uncanny Valley. That weird feeling when a robot is almost human but not quite, turns people trust robots more when they look less or less human-like. Interesting, right? Oh, here's a random aside. You think we'll ever see robot pets with, legal rights? Bellisan touches on the idea that as robots become agents, even electronic persons, there could be actual legal about what rights robots should have, which personally just makes me think of all those old sci-fi films where the unionizers. Sorry, off track there. Happens to the best of us. Anyway, here's the real takeaway. These advances are not destiny. Bellisan's work doesn't predict robotic takeover or a utopia. It asks us to consider how new technology us as much as we shape it. He argues that responsibility, empathy, and oversight will be absolutely vital. As I said at the top, this is just one scholar's analysis, not the truth. Use it as a springboard to think, challenge assumptions, and imagine your ideal future with or without robots. Alright, that's a wrap for today. Thanks so much for joining me on In Depth with Academia. Remember, academic research is a conversation, not conclusion. So curious. Stay and never stop asking, does this mean for me? See you next time.